Hey, everybody. Just want to welcome you to a special episode of the Album Anniversary Podcast. Kylan and John took over the show to talk about an album they were excited to talk about. And I've said it a couple times. Brock's done this a couple times. I love this idea. I love the idea that somebody comes on, they want to talk about an album. I can't cover every album. No podcast can. They didn't quite have the space for it in other areas, so they wanted to have the conversation. They recorded it. I edited it together and threw it out here on the feed for people to enjoy so they could promote an album they love, they think deserves more attention. I love this idea. If you're interested in doing this, hit me up. We'll say it at the end. Kylan says it at the end. CalebTheSpypodcasts at gmail.com. There's an S at the end of that. We'll try and make things work. I can probably help out it. I can help record. I'm really interested in letting other people kind of use this space to talk about an album they love. Can't do everyone. Can't do every episode. Can't do every show. But I'll do my best to fit it in. So I'm going to kick it over to Kylan and John. And thanks so much, guys. I really enjoyed the conversation. I laughed out loud multiple times. Super interesting. An album I had never heard about. And so I was really excited to listen through. And I hope everybody loves this episode.
Welcome to the Album Anniversary Podcast. Today's show is about The Earth Sings Me Fa Me by The Receiving End of Sirens, which was released on August 7th, 2007, 2008, no, 2007.
2007.
You just told me that. 2007, and is celebrating an 18-year anniversary. I'm your host for this evening, Kylan Savage. If you heard in the very beginning, you're like, that doesn't sound like Caleb. I promise you're not crazy. He's not here. This is just one more step in my podcast media empire takeover. So this is my show now. Sorry, Caleb. Gonna lock you out of all the socials after this. But really, Caleb allowed us the opportunity to use his show as a platform to talk about this album. Oh, before I introduce you, I'm so sorry. Every day on social media, I post about in this universe. Every day on social media, I post about album anniversaries. So on the Album Anniversary Podcast, we take a look at a classic album, an album we love, or an album that is important to us on the anniversary of its release date. Albums on this show often focus on alternative rock and punk, and I can't finish this one. I can't say my strange obsession with ska, even jokingly. But I can say in the 90s, I was super into the Christian music scene, so that comes up on the show often. Today, I'm joined by John Amos.
Hello.
John, welcome to the show.
Glad to be here.
Let's talk a little bit about you. For people that maybe are unfamiliar with who you are and why we're here. Who are you?
Well, as we said, my name is John Amos. This is my second time on the Album Anniversary Podcast.
The first time in this universe.
Oh,
in this,
yes,
in
correct.
this in this multiverse, first time.
with Kylan the Spy.
Yeah.
I am involved on, CCM Twitter at Music Fanatic with a PH, because I am a devoted Philly sports fan as well as a music lover. Spent my late teen and early 20s years going to lots of shows in Philadelphia and eating lots of cheesesteaks, going to Phillies games and all that kind of stuff.
That sounds awesome.
Oh, it was a blast. That was before nobody had GPS on their phone, so we had to print off directions from MapQuest.
Oh, yeah.
And then print the reverse directions.
I remember those days. That does make me feel old. So you knew how to get back.
Yeah. But, yeah, that's fun stuff. I did spend some time playing in a band.
And that band was?
That band was Atlas.
Yeah.
We had one album on Facedown Records, and then that was kind of it for us. But yeah, that was a really fun time of my life that I look back on with a lot of fondness and good memories. Lots of cool opportunities that we had, and
Yeah. Dude, that's
yeah,
awesome. We still, or I guess in some other universe where I'm hosting another music podcast, uh, we need to have you on to talk about that album.
oh my gosh, that would be so much fun.
And I'm sure it'll happen someday. Um, for people that may not know, listeners of this show, I have also been on twice, I think. Last time talked about, I don't know if you know this, my favorite band is The National. That kind of became the catchphrase of the entire episode. So if you want to know more about me, go listen to that. That's all I'm going to say about that. Because I'm excited to talk about this album. Should we say let's get into like the details and stuff first, and then you and I can we
Sure.
can talk about why we have been talking about covering this record for together for such a long time, and have
Yeah,
finally
heck
found
yeah.
an opportunity to.
As Colin mentioned, yeah, this The Earth Sings Me Fa Me was released August 7th, 2007. So yeah, coming up on its 18th anniversary. It was released through Triple Crown Records, which, if you're familiar with the Warped Tour scene of the early 2000s, you
Oh
probably know
yeah.
some bands from there. Brand New was probably the biggest, I would think.
Mm-hmm.
And then some later, like early, let's see, like the 2010s, they had bands like From Indian Lakes, Foxing. Yeah, lots of good bands on that
Yeah,
label.
I know. Also, Into It, Over It, who I've
Oh,
seen
yeah,
a
that's
bunch of
right.
times. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, good
good ones.
stuff. Good
Yeah.
label. And then
Mm.
I think it's weird. I meant to research this, but most of their stuff, at least on vinyl, is being released through Wax Bodega now.
Oh, interesting.
So I don't know if Triple Crown is still a thing or not. I think it is, but I think Wax Bodega handles all the like
Easel.
physical releases,
Yeah.
something like that. I have to double check
Well, I
that.
don't
But
know. If you try to go to their website, you get a 502 bad gateway. So I don't know.
yeah. It was produced by Matt Squire, who's I didn't write this down, but he's produced lots of other bands. Um, Band members for The Earth Sings Me Fa Me would be Alex Bars on lead vocals, guitars, and programming. Brendan
Mm.
Brown on lead vocals, bass, programming, keys, and glockenspiel.
Love it. Love a
Um,
glockenspiel.
yeah, Brian Southall on guitars, programming, keys, and glockenspiel. Nate Patterson on guitars, keys, and glockenspiel. And lastly, Andrew Cook, drums, percussion, programming, and glockenspiel. So everybody did glockenspiel on this album
Everyone,
except for Alex.
wow.
And then everybody else did programming
Programming. Yeah.
except for Andrew. No, no, no. Everyone did except for Nate.
Oh,
Nate
okay.
did not do any programming. I thought that
Man,
was kind of funny.
that is very funny. Uh,
Um,
can we say notably missing from this record compared to
oh
their first
yes,
record?
yes. So this is I was getting there.
Oh, okay, sorry, sorry,
No, you're
sorry.
good. You're good. It's all good. So this is the band's second full-length record, and their first without their former lead singer guitarist Casey Crescenzo, who between the release of their first record, which was called Between the Heart and the Synapse, and I'm a little I'm a little bummed we're not talking about that one first, but
Right, right.
that's okay.
Maybe in
But
some other universe we have.
yeah, but he left the Receiving End of Sirens, I believe, sometime in 2006.
Yeah.
Um,
He quit in the middle of a tour or something, right?
I think that's
That's what I
right.
remember.
Yeah.
But he had
But
like
he
some,
left.
yeah.
There were some personal things, some creative differences, but also he had some, I guess, medical
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
things going on as
Yeah.
well that were probably contributing and making it not such a good time, I would imagine.
Yep.
But during that time, he started the band The Deer Hunter, who is also a great band.
So good. They're still
And
going. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And if you are familiar with, uh, yeah, other, oh no, that hasn't come out yet, has it?
What?
The the episode we did for Eric's podcast
Oh
about
yeah.
the with the Falling Up record.
Oh yeah. But you go ahead and mention it. Go ahead and mention it
So
because
yes, pertinent to the CCM adjacent community or whatever, Casey Crescenzo has also worked with the band Falling Up in a producing role, and I think he's done other stuff with Jesse, the River
yeah.
Empires. I think he was involved in. Um, but yeah, so that's a little bit on the receiving end of Sirens. They're from Massachusetts, and we're around from I think probably 2003 until somewhere around 2008 or 2009
Yeah.
when they broke up.
Not super long, but they
But then they've come back a couple times.
yeah.
They did a reunion show in Boston earlier this year, which I'm so mad at myself for not going to.
Ah, yeah. I'm mad
They
at
were
you for not
supposed to,
going.
yeah, I know. They were supposed to do a small tour in 2020, and of course that didn't happen.
Yeah.
But anyway, getting back to this record, There Is Things Beneath Me. Here's the vinyl. Has the
Ooh,
alternate black cover
I like that.
instead of that like grayish
White.
white.
That's cool.
It's a really cool clear with black and white splatter variant. But yeah, so I couldn't find any definitive sales numbers for this record, but they did reach number 130 on the Billboard Top 200.
I mean,
Number
that's honestly like that's no joke for
no,
like an emo band. You know
oh
what I
for
mean?
sure, and
Like,
especially one of this size where, yeah, I think part of the reason they ended up breaking up is they felt like they maybe had taken it as far as they could,
right.
which is kind of sad because I feel like they could have kept going, but
Yeah,
who
agreed.
knows? They hit number 3 on top Heat Seekers and number 15 on top independent albums. So yeah, I mean
That's pretty good.
that's not bad at all. Reviews, I didn't pull any like excerpts or anything. If you want, you could just read the Wikipedia
The
entry, and it's
in,
definitely somebody's review.
insane. We do have to talk about that because you texted me today and I went and read the Wikipedia page for this album. And it like, the whole thing with Wikipedia is like, ostensibly it's just the world's information. Like people can just
Mhm.
add things. But at this point, it's been around long enough that I feel like whenever I read, even for like smaller bands and like more niche interests, there's like a certain level of like academic and editorial standards that
Yeah,
were
there's
just not present in this Wikipedia page.
oh my gosh, yeah. The reliability factor is completely out the window on this.
It's just insane. They just are like comparing it. Yeah, it's like they wrote a review
Yeah.
for like
It
their Rate Your Music and then
it
just like
honestly
published it.
it honestly bothered me some.
Yeah, there's a weird typo in it too. Even
Oh yeah, it said
the
it was based it on.
based it on yes, that drove me crazy. Uh, Absolutely wild. So if you want more information on this record, I recommend finding it elsewhere. But then once you've gotten
Mm.
that, go back and look at the Wikipedia page.
So yeah, I didn't pull anything like yeah any excerpts from actual reviews, but they did receive mostly favorable reviews. Even though at the time I do remember when it was released, I remember a lot of fans were very disappointed with it
Yeah,
due to Casey's departure.
yeah. I
Um,
mean,
I remember
myself
so many.
included
Yeah,
at the
I
time.
think I think I was a little bit let down, but I mean, I had already dealt with I'm Only a Man from Emery
Right.
that year, and so I was I was like, this isn't as big a departure as that was for
Right.
these two
Or
bands.
it's really similar to As Cities Burn from Son I
Oh
Loved You
yeah,
to Come Now Sleep. Right?
yeah,
Like
true.
they are almost kind of like a totally different band, but keeping the same
Okay,
name and
speaking of As Cities Burn, did you know that somewhere during the time when Casey had left, and then they just decided to carry on without a third vocalist, Cody from As Cities Burn was going to be his replacement,
I read
and
something along those lines, but I
he actually did play a couple shows with them.
dude,
Apparently,
how good would that have been?
I cannot imagine. That would have been so. That would have been
And they're
so cool.
probably just like some like really probably relatively small like like small venue shows,
Oh yeah,
some just like dirty punk venue. Like, oh, it would have been so good. Just like hide
yep,
and sweat, and then
yep.
have Cody doing vocals with
Oh
them.
my word.
Well, because I was wondering too, like, do they say anywhere? So you have the actual album, because it
Yeah.
was hard for me to find any information online. Are there any? Because there is one, and I'm so mad at myself I didn't write it down. There is one line in one song that the delivery sounded just like Cody from As
Hmm.
Cities Burn. And so I wasn't sure if maybe he did some
I could.
like
I mean, even without knowing what song you're specifically talking about, like I could definitely hear.
right. Yeah, yeah. I mean
I mean, like
stylistically
there's
like there's
definitely
some
similarity for
right.
sure, and it wouldn't surprise me. And he does not have any writing credits. All lyrics were. It just says all music by the Receiving of the Sirens.
Okay.
All lyrics by Brendan Brown. So that their
Okay.
bass player. Oh,
I mean
and
it's also possible that he just did, you know what I mean, and they but I
yeah,
don't know. I don't know, man.
true.
But okay. Cool. Yeah, this is a controversial take. Receiving into Sirens is a good band. And I think, and I believe you're probably right there with me, a pretty underrated band.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Absolutely.
I think, like, based on their contemporaries, uh, I think they're just as if just as good, if not better, than a lot of the bands in the scene. And I think people's perception of them, I feel like they just kind of got roped in with like the more, at least this is my perception, with the more sort of generic uh, emo post-hardcore kind of
Mm-hmm.
bands.
Yeah.
And I think they were, I mean, just based on the two albums, they're just like miles ahead of a lot of those bands.
Yeah.
Um,
For sure.
okay, so we'll get into our relationship with it, but
Mm.
I'm gonna go through. I don't know. I received from the multiverse into my email inbox. I received this strange outline. I'm gonna see if maybe following it can help us keep the show on track, even though I've been doing it for hundreds of episodes now. The first question is, how did you first discover the album?
So I discovered the album just from knowing about the band already. So it was an album that I had been anticipating.
Yeah, what was your relationship with the band up to that point? So, obviously, you're into the first album.
Oh yes. So yeah, I think I've mentioned him in another podcast, either in this timeline or another alternate universe. I'm not sure. A buddy of mine from college and high school, Jeff, he and I, to this day, we still share bands with each other. And he came barging into my dorm room one night and he's like, dude, you got to listen to this song. And I'm pretty sure it was on Pure Volume.
Yeah,
And he showed me the song Planning a Prison Break, which is
so
from
good,
that first record.
so good.
If you're not familiar with the band, and you're still listening, I highly recommend checking out that record as
Just
well and that song.
take a break and go listen to that song,
Yeah,
and then
yeah,
come back.
absolutely.
We'll wait, and
Yeah.
I'll put the length of the song amount of silence in at this point. Okay, I hope you loved that song.
Yeah.
Welcome back.
How could you not? If you didn't, you probably don't care to listen to the rest of this episode.
Right.
Um, so yeah, from that point on, I'm pretty sure it was the next day I went out and bought the CD at Best Buy.
Nice.
And then yeah, I think that was the year that the album came out, so 2005. And then 2007, Jeff and I went to see them in Philly. I can't remember who that. I think it was. I think you were playing with The Sleeping and oh, Envy on the Coast.
Oh, nice. That's a good lineup.
And it was a good show. And they had the huge banner for the album cover, even though it was like a few months before the record came out. And
Right.
I think at that point they had released Smoke and Mirrors,
Mm-hmm.
which was the first single. So I think they played Smoke and Mirrors and maybe one or two other songs.
Yeah, I think
But
Saturnus came out before the record came out too.
I think you're right.
I think because I remember that on either Pure Volume or MySpace or something.
Yeah, yeah, that sounds right. But I'm so glad I got the chance to see them live because
So jealous.
even without Casey, like they were incredible.
Yeah.
They did Rival Cycle, and afterwards they told us, "You guys are the first crowd to get that clapping part right." And I'm like, me and Jeff look at each other like, they probably say that to
every
there's,
show. Yeah,
there's
yeah.
no way.
Right.
There's no way because there's a really cool drum part on that song that people will clap along, try to clap along to. But
hey, but he may be right. Maybe it was because you were there and you just had that rhythm in your soul and you led everybody to clap correctly.
Zeroed in on me.
Sweet.
So yeah, so that's my kind of history with the Receiving of the Sirens.
Nice.
My only disappointment after that was I went to get a T-shirt and I did not like any of the designs they had.
Oh, really?
So I ended up buying a sticker instead.
That's such a bummer because like one thing that really attracted me to the band on the first album and on the second, and even with like the new stuff, like everything, like their design always seems like really cool. And it's like it's a design style that like really inspired me in like what I do.
Sure.
So that's a bummer. Didn't like any of the shirts.
They may have been like over halfway through tour, so it's possible they sold out of a bunch of other stuff
Out of the cool ones.
I would have liked, but
maybe that's why they didn't end up making it after the second album.
It could be.
Not enough T-shirt sales. They needed better T-shirt designs. Music business is hard, guys. Yeah. So,
how about you?
Similar to you, I was anticipating it. I first saw Planning a Prison Break. I saw the music video on Fuse.
Nice.
Back in the day, and it was one of those. It was like that time period where the trend was just like blank white room. And like really simple, everyone just like kind of like you would be on stage, but there's just like no background. Similar to like
Mouth Like a Magazine.
Mouth Like a Magazine. Yeah, exactly.
But that video, oh my, that's one of my favorite music videos of all time. I'm not even kidding.
No. It's
so good.
One of the best. And I was just like so pumped. So I was coming right off of like brand new Taking Back Sunday, like. I was like, I love the double vocal thing that's going on right now. And in my mind, so I discovered Receiving Into Sirens and Hidden in Plain View right at the same time. I don't know if you know them, but they're like...
Know them. I never really got into them.
Oh, dude, you got to listen. You got to listen to them, especially that first record, Bleed For You, because I heard that on a Warped Tour compilation, I think, maybe a 2005 Warped Tour compilation. Anyway, I was all in, and I didn't actually buy the album. This also makes me feel old. there was a time when I was part of a very active live journal community. I don't know if you remember live journal was similar to like Zanga and all that.
Mhm.
And I don't now looking back on it, I don't fully know how it works, but it was similar to like torrenting or like pirating music. Like people
Mhm.
would basically have these directories. Like this was like post LimeWire and Kazaa and Napster. So there are these more like curated communities where people would give you direct access to their music directories through
Oh
AOL
wow.
Instant Messenger.
Whoa.
Like you could use there was some function in AIM where you could click on a user, and if they were away, you could like access like certain types of files and download them onto your computer. And I did this
That's
with like
crazy.
all of the emo music, right? Like that's how I got Gym Class Heroes, like the first Paramore record, the first My Chemical Romance record. Like I got just like, and I just like built up a music. And like now, obviously, I'm like, oh yeah, that's bad. That's part of why the music industry collapsed. Like 3 years later. But it was the first time I had seen like this is pre-streaming. Like this was like I'm in high school and college. I'm broke. Like I'm not. I can't buy every CD that I want to buy.
Mhm.
Uh, but it was an opportunity to like listen and discover a lot of music. And so I got that album and I just listened to it obsessively on my little MP3 player. Like even like I didn't have an iPod even. It was like some off-brand like dollar store MP3 player that could fit like 3 songs at a time. So I'd have to
A
swap
Zune?
out song. It wasn't as dude, I had a Zune. I
My
had
wife
a
is the Zune
Zune.
apologist.
I liked the Zune, man. I thought the Zune was really cool. I think the Zune should make a comeback. I should look and see if I can buy a Zune on eBay. Anyway, yeah, I was really excited about this record, and
Mhm.
then I was really disappointed in it at first,
Mhm. Mhm.
and that was happening a lot around this time because 2007
Mhm.
was also on Letting Go by Circus Survive.
Oh yeah.
I was I was anticipating that album a lot. I was
Mm.
really disappointed in that.
Oh wow.
2007 was also, I believe, Narrow Stairs by Death Cab for Cutie. Also highly anticipating that. I did not like any of these records at first. Narrow Stairs may have been 2008, but like around this
Mm.
time,
Mhm.
did not like any of these records at first. Over time, my opinion just like completely flipped because
Mhm.
they were all like bands that I was like, okay, this is like one of my favorite bands. Like this, it can't be that much of a miss, right? It's just
Mhm.
different.
Yeah.
Like I need, and
Yeah.
I was like at that period in my life where I was just like, I had a lot more opportunity to like live with albums. Like
Mhm.
you burn a CD and you're driving around a lot, and you just
Mhm.
like got nothing else to do besides like I had to catch King of the Hill at 9 o'clock at night, and it's like I couldn't just watch anything that I wanted to watch whenever, right? So spent a lot more time listening to music, and they all like really grew on me. So
Mhm. Like you mentioned earlier, like their contemporaries, and I remember that. Yeah, when I heard "Planning a Prison Break," I was like, it kind of reminds me of Emery, but in a different way. Like they're definitely much more experimental.
right,
They have three guitarists, a lot of programming.
hmm
Um, and at to that point, I hadn't heard I hadn't heard a lot of bands that did the
right,
heavy thing,
yeah,
but not a lot of screaming.
exactly,
Like
yes,
Casey is the only one in the band that did the screaming, and it was very minimal
yeah,
on that record. And I don't know, it really, yeah, I don't know, it was kind of like a foundational record for me musically.
yeah.
And
It's
I
like,
know a
oh,
lot of
you can do the heavy thing. You don't have to just like do breakdowns and screams and stuff.
Mhm.
Like you can
Yeah.
sound heavy, but still have like a melodic, like
Hmm.
pop
Have
kind of
layers
thing.
and
Yeah,
dynamics. And I know that that record in particular was a decent influence on Atlas for in our album Into the Sea.
See that.
going to a lot of the musicality of it. A lot of their interludes were using a lot of the same melodies from song to song,
Right.
even some lyrics from song to song. It just the way they, like wove everything together. Yeah,
Which
was a big influence on that.
I did find really interesting that this album in particular doesn't have Casey on it, but it does have like a very specific sort of like concept.
Yeah.
And then and I feel like that's sort of like, to me that's like a big part of like the Deer Hunter, is like
Oh yeah.
the sort of like concept-y story kind of things. And so like it is, now looking back on it, it's interesting that, like, I don't know who influenced who in terms of that, but it is
Mm-hmm.
really cool that this album is ostensibly like a concept record, but the kind of concept record that
Yeah.
I really like.
Mm-hmm.
We should probably talk about the concept.
Yeah.
Well, let's go into what do you like about the album, and then we can
man.
find a way to lead into that concept part.
So what I like about this record, kind of like what we were just talking about with the, although I think the heavier moments are maybe more spread out on this one as opposed
Mm-hmm.
to the previous record. And not to say that there's not a lot, because there's a decent amount of musically heavier moments, and I mean there's thematically heavy stuff as well.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean just the way they build, or the way they built atmosphere, and yeah, again that's that programming coming into play, that all but one of the guys were part
Right.
of.
Well,
Um,
yeah, it was also the programming stuff was really influential for me, because I actually got started doing music. Well, I started like writing songs and playing music like in 2005, but my work is sort of more like a solo kind of guy. Started in 2008, and I got like Ableton Live, and I was really into like Postal Service and like
mhm.
Album Leaf and like that kind of thing. But this specific kind of like programming, especially like on the drum sounds and stuff, was
Mhm.
huge for me, and something that I incorporated in my music for like the longest time.
Mhm.
That's cool.
And yeah, so like even just like along with the sound design, and even just the title of the record, the album cover has a very spacey feel to it.
Yeah, which makes sense
Right.
because that's sort of the concept.
Hmm.
So, do you have information on the concept? Because I do, but I think I'd rather hear it from you. I can do it. I can say it,
Yeah,
but
no, that's good.
I,
Yeah, so the Earth Sings Me Fa Me is mostly a concept record based on the work of Johannes Kepler, and his idea that the orbital motion of planets around the sun creates harmonious ratios that could be expressed as musical intervals. I'm never going to say something that sounds that smart in my entire life, just of my own volition.
right?
I think that's referred to as the music of the spheres sometimes,
Yeah.
but the mi fa mi specifically comes from those being the musical intervals of Earth and Venus, I think.
Yep.
There's also a secondary concept on the record about a broken family, um, which is interesting how that ties in with the other
The
concept.
idea of like harmony in the
Mhm.
universe, like at a
Yeah,
macro level, and then disharmony. Is
right.
disharmony a word? I feel like it's a
I think
word.
so. Yeah,
Okay.
that sounds right.
Disharmony on a micro level. In this universe, it's definitely a
Oh,
word
for sure, for sure.
that we all know and
Um,
use.
but he also, believe Kepler also about it, referring to misery, famine, and misery.
Oh yeah.
I think that was what I read in my
Yeah.
research.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so just those themes throughout the history of the world.
Yeah.
And then that's interesting because a lot of the like familial concept of this record is very much about loneliness and yeah, misery. So it's really, really interesting.
Yeah, I think it's really cool how there's this sort of like I said, like harmony and like even if personally or within like interpersonal relationships, there's like a lot of like conflicting ideas and then but like the more you pull back, the more you pull out, the more those wrinkles sort of get like smoothed out, and the universe
Mhm.
does just generally seem kind of more harmonious. It's weirdly like a very I think you could potentially say like it's a very like spiritual, religious, like Christian
Mm-hmm.
idea, right? Of like like on our own, we're kind of like we clash, like we're not, we're not great at a lot of things on our own. We're lonely, and then but there is this like beautiful music to the way that the universe is created,
Hmm.
which I don't know. I think is very cool, and I do think I think they nail it. They nail that concept musically and lyrically
Yeah,
on this record.
100%.
It's
100%.
very cool. It's very, very, very cool. So, like, what else? Give me some more like specifics of what you like about this record.
So one of the specific things that I've grown to really appreciate about this record is the guitar work. Take, for instance, the song Saturnus. Probably was within like the last, I don't know, maybe 5 to 10 years that I really even noticed what the guitar was doing on the second verse.
Yeah,
And I don't know, maybe I just had good headphones for once.
yeah, yeah. You can
And
finally,
and I'm like, what is that? And I kept, scrubbing back, and I'm like, that's a guitar. Because at first I thought, I'm like, is that a keyboard? What is that? And I'm like, no, that's a guitar. And it's probably Nate, because I think he's kind of like their like lead guitarist, so to speak.
yeah,
And when I saw them play live, yeah, he was doing most of like the like lead
hmm,
parts. And I was just like, holy cow! It just, yeah, he's just shredding.
yeah,
But it's very subtle. It's not super high in the mix. It's not. I mean, yeah, there's really not like there's not a lot of distortion on it.
right,
It's a very chorusy, maybe a little bit of reverb,
hmm,
but he's just going crazy.
yeah,
And I was like, holy
yeah, yeah.
cow.
And
So yeah.
it's wild how like I feel like everyone in the band on this record is like top of their game and could
Hmm.
very easily and I think it speaks to their ability to play together
Hmm.
and Matt Squire's ability to produce and like mix
Yeah.
this record. Like the mix is so good.
Hmm.
Like nothing is overpowering. Like nothing is just like, oh, okay, there's that guy showing off. Like here's the
Yeah.
guitar, here's like the crazy drum part. You're just like, oh no,
Right.
it all fits together almost like a suite, like a classical kind of suite.
Mm.
Um, and it flows really well.
I I tweeted out today. I was like, there's no good reason in my mind that the receiving end of Sirens shouldn't have been as big as like a Coheed and Cambria.
Oh, 1,000%,
Just like
a thousand
musical
percent.
ability wise,
Yeah,
and they
yeah,
just didn't like receiving end of Sirens just didn't find their like cult following like
right.
Coheed did,
Yeah,
you know?
no, that's a good comparison. Yeah, I fully agree. I got a lot of, we already talked about it before, but I got a lot of like As Cities Burn, specifically like Come Now Sleep era, which also came out same year.
Yeah, that's right.
Man, 2007, wild.
Mm-hmm.
That sort of vibe.
Alchemy Index Volume 1 was 2007 too, I think.
Yeah. What was up with 2007, man? And like,
it's a good year.
Yeah,
it's a good year. That's a year I graduated college.
Yeah,
so.
No, it's a good year, man. Oh, but I actually did want to bring up Alchemy Index in terms of the concept record thing.
Yeah,
like I have a problem with some concept records, like some, like when I have to like really get into like lore, honestly, like some of the Coheed stuff gets like a little too like lore heavy for me.
Sure.
Honestly, like some of the Falling Up stuff gets like a little too much like that for me. But I like these kind of concepts that like take an idea, like Alchemy Index. I think Alchemy Index is like the platonic ideal of a concept record. Like
100% agree.
Like it's like the perfect concept record. Yeah, and I like this idea. It's simple enough that you can like hang an entire like hour-long record on and like dig into some other like details and things like within it, and then like you're good. So yeah. I think it's great. Controversial take. It's a great record. Before my next question, I want to, it wouldn't be an episode of the Album Anniversary podcast with me if I didn't just completely derail us in some crazy direction. John, I want to talk to you. I want to have a conversation about why and how you and I specifically are here now talking about this record. Because this has been in conversation for I think maybe years.
Months.
Maybe years.
At least months, yeah.
At least a year. I feel like at least a year. Because I feel like, correct me if I'm wrong, I think you first brought up the Church Jams Now should cover Receiving Into Sirens for a Secular Jams Now, which is a show we do mostly on our Patreon now. And then, of course, Josh Olson mostly runs our social media accounts, and he could not be bothered. So I had to step in and be like, yes, please, let's talk about it. And then, I feel like it's one of those things like you and I have just, like, we've always just kind of brought up, like, man, we got to find a way to talk about this. Like we need to have a conversation on mic about this record, because more people need to know about this record. And then finally, because, okay, like, let me look, like, I mean, this has like not terrible amount of streams on Spotify, but I just go back to, I think Receiving Into Sirens is an incredibly underrated band, and I think I think they deserve that cult following, even if it is 18 years after. And
it's crazy too. I mean, I don't have it pulled up. I can't on a device. I can look at the Spotify numbers, but I mean, they're only like 2 years ahead, 2 or 3 years ahead of Spotify.
Yeah.
With this album.
Right. Right.
You know, so, man.
Right. I know, but Planning a Prison Break does have 3 million streams, which is nothing to sneeze at.
Well deserved.
I'm guessing it's on all of those, like, this is emo playlists, you know? That's like, like you listen to it and you're like, yeah, but is it? You know, but somehow, but yeah, man, they I feel like they deserve to have more people listen to it, and so we're gonna try to evangelize this album a little bit. When the pleasure is the lesser, it's giving to the pressure of an ever-growing lust and an always present one. All this is yours, so is your peace, and then you're burning it. have to ask, what are your favorite tracks?
I mean, honestly, okay. My favorite track I can answer fairly easily,
Okay.
and that would be "Air of Empty Breath," which
Mm,
is one of the longest songs on the record.
yeah.
But when you listen to it, like it doesn't feel like it's 7 minutes long or however
Yeah.
long it is. I
It's
don't remember
almost
the
8,
exact runtime. Yeah,
7:44.
yeah. But it goes by like you don't even yeah you don't notice it's that long of a song.
Right. Well,
Personally,
because because it's like they're like those guitars when it does the it's like in my mind most songs when they're like 8 minutes long it's going to be just like do 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 ta do
Mhm.
like they're going to be like this like big long like slow kind of thing, but this has some
Yeah,
like yeah, this is just like so dynamic.
yeah, and I mean they come roaring out of the gate with it too. You know,
Yeah.
it's just in your face like from the beginning. Yeah, right from the beginning. But yeah, I mean, like you were talking about earlier, that everybody is just like at the top of their game on this one in particular. Like, I mean, every song really, but
Yeah.
this one just grabs my attention the most. And yeah, I mean, uh, yeah, it's so good.
It does like this album in particular. I do like the Emery comparison. Like there
Mhm.
is uh
It's very theatrical, like
yes.
Emery
Yeah, kind of like the
does.
question. Like there's
Hmm.
like that kind of thing but without the screaming really,
Hmm.
so
Saturnus is also a favorite. Another, you know, more upbeat and lots of good energy.
yeah.
And then taking it a little bit on the slower side, slow but not quiet by any means. It would be Stay Small.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's interesting because I don't know. You hear all kinds of you know you hear all kinds of things of like what people think a song is about. Um, and that one
Yeah.
obviously maybe a lot of people didn't know back then. Maybe it wasn't as widely known that that's a concept about a broken family. And a friend of mine, one not my buddy Jeff, but another friend was like, "Oh yeah, I heard the song "Stay Small" is about his little sister," and I'm like, "Oh, cool! I
Oh.
didn't know that." Like,
Right, right.
but you never know, and especially I was like, I don't know, because he says, "Son, I'm sorry for this world and all the awful things she'll do to you." Like,
Yeah, yeah.
but all that's to say, like that one is an emotional kick
It's
in the
so
face.
funny. It's so funny. Do you have any other? I do, which is why I'm bringing it up. But do you have any other examples of songs that you didn't realize were part of a concept, and so you took them literally?
For this record or for any
Just
concept.
any, just any.
Man, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Okay.
Yeah, I'd have to
So
put some more thought into
the
that.
big one for me was "The Gold" by Manchester Orchestra off of Black Mile to the
Oh yeah.
Surface, because that one's all about like a divorce and stuff, and like
Hmm.
Andy was like always like I didn't realize for the longest time that that was essentially like a concept record,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
uh, and it's like all about a divorce, and he's always been so autobiographical, and I was like,
Hmm.
Andy, are you getting a divorce? Man, come on. Like, is everything
Like I didn't
okay? And then
I didn't know that he worked in a mine.
yeah, right. Then it was like years later that I was like, oh, right, duh. Uh, yeah, I just think that's so funny.
Wait a minute, he got into a car accident on purpose?
Yeah, I was like, oh
The
no, he's like
alien?
he's in a dark place, guys. We got to check on Andy Hull. Is he okay?
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah, let's see. Other ones. I mean, of course, Smoke and Mirrors. I mean, yeah, it feels a little basic to say, but because it was the lead single, but
Right. I think Smoke and Mirrors is my favorite though.
I mean,
But
it's so good.
every time I hear Smoke and Mirrors, I just imagine the dude from Indian Lakes listening to that and being like,
Oh,
that's what I want to do. I want to do
Dude,
that.
absolutely. I
And
could hear
then
that. Yeah.
yeah, I just feel like the influence on like at
Hmm.
least like on those first couple records too. It's just
Yeah,
like, oh
for
yeah,
sure.
no, that makes sense.
For sure. Which I miss his more post-hardcore leaning
Yeah,
records, but I like everything he's done.
yeah, same.
Yeah, something about able bodies and absent sounds.
Yeah, they're just great. So
Yeah,
good.
I wouldn't say I could list every song as a favorite. There's no
Right.
bad songs for sure. I mean there are some.
It does say I do have to interrupt and say in the notes it says Caleb notes if any, I like to list all of the songs. So let's just list all the songs and talk about oh
Oh
yeah, they're
yeah,
good.
so The Crop and the Pest, Pale Blue Dot, Wanderers, Swallow People
I
Whole.
think Swallow People Whole is a perfect album opener for this.
Yeah, yeah.
Sorry,
I thought you were
what were
gonna
you gonna say?
say. I thought you were gonna say you heard that it was compared to Depeche Mode.
Oh right, yes. Some people are saying that it's very Depeche. I don't one, I
Some
don't
have
hear
said
that, and
no.
two, that was one of the most insane things I read in that Wikipedia article. Just absolutely bonkers.
Like who
Right.
made that comparison? Like your next door neighbor
Yeah,
that
yeah,
grew up in the '80s listening to Depeche Mode.
yeah.
Like,
It's like, Dad, come listen to this. He's like, oh, this sounds like Depeche Mode. I know that Wikipedia
oh
article
man,
feels
it's
like it
wild.
was written by a 14-year-old for absolute punk. Like,
Which
there's just
hey,
the forum.
at least there's a 14-year-old listening to the receiving of the sirens.
That's
That's
true.
great.
That's
But
true.
oh, buddy,
Yeah, yeah. No, that was one of the rougher Wikipedia
reviews.
entries. Yeah, yeah. That's so funny. I think we mentioned everything. Man, yeah.
What
Covered
about
a
your
lot.
favorite songs, Kylan?
Smoke and Mirrors is hands down my favorite, and then I once again I also think Swallow People Whole,
Yeah,
just
it's a good one.
such a good album opener, and this may come as a surprise to anyone that has listened to any other podcast that I've ever been on, where I often lambast incredibly long songs, but The Salesman, The Husband, The Lover is
Mm.
7 minutes long. But
Hmm.
man, I love that song. It's
Hmm.
so good. It's so good. I can just like get lost in it,
Yeah.
you know. But I mean, like this whole record, it's a long record. I will say that. I
Hmm.
I have to be in the right mood to listen to it.
Sure.
Like I have to, because it's one of those that like it's yeah, it's just it's so interesting because the album feels really spacey,
Hmm.
but not in the way that you would typically describe spacey, right? Like usually like if you say it's like a spacey album, you think of like some of the Cure, like shoegazy kind of things, or like Angels and Airwaves, like tons of
Yeah.
like dotted eighth delays and like those kind of things.
Hmm.
And this album doesn't really have like those sorts of elements. Like it gets pretty heavy at times. Like it's incredibly like intricate and complex, but I don't even know how, but it feels spacey.
Well, the song "Music of the Spheres" like
Yeah,
perfectly captures what you're talking about.
yeah, for
Like
sure.
is that the Glockenspiel?
Yes, that's the one that
That's
Yeah, it
like
starts
really
with
high, like
Glockenspiel.
belly,
Hmm. That
tinny kind
that
of
apparently
bells, kind of.
everyone but one guy played.
Yeah.
I wonder if they did that. I wonder if they just all sat around and just did it all together. Like everyone just got
Oh
one.
yeah.
Everyone got
Oh, that
one.
would be
That's
crazy.
like
Yeah.
such a like stupid. I'm in a band recording an album things. You know what I mean? Like it's
Yeah,
like
definitely.
let's all play the Glockenspiel and then we can all
Definitely.
put Glockenspiel in the liner notes.
And he just wasn't there that one day.
Right, right. Like he was on the lunch run. Like he was like picking up Wendy's for everybody. That's so
Oh
funny.
man. But here's an interesting. I think that this album, and I have no proof, but I wouldn't be surprised if this album had an influence on the Devil Wears Prada for their Space EP.
Oh,
I don't know if you've ever heard that, but
I
um,
have, yeah.
yeah, this especially the song. Oh man, what was the single on that one? Because the guitars, especially on song I'm like, this reminds me so much of, or sings Me Fought Me.
Yeah.
Um,
I don't remember any of the song titles from that.
it was Supernova.
Mm.
The lead during like the chorus
Mm-hmm.
it feels so Receiving of the Sirens.
Yeah.
But anyway, that was a just a random aside.
Love it. I mean, this is once again an album anniversary podcast episode with me. I do have to ask you. This is canon in the other universe.
Hmm.
Uh, what kind of car are you driving? Don't ask. Don't ask. It's just we got to do car jams now for a minute. We got to do it just for a second. You just got to tell
Well,
me what kind of car you
I
driving.
usually I usually drive a Dodge Dart.
All right. All right.
I wanted to quote a Will Ferrell Saturday Night Live sketch and say I drove a Dodge Stratus, but
Well, in this
I didn't
universe,
know if anybody
maybe you
would get
do.
or appreciate that.
In this universe, we all get and appreciate it. Okay, last question is wait, I didn't skip any questions, did I?
I
Oh,
don't
no, I did.
know
I totally
why.
skipped a question. Sorry, Caleb.
Oh,
Why is the album important to you, or why does the album still hold up?
I'll answer both. I would say it's im it's important to me. Yeah, like I mentioned, I did mention, it had, well, actually, this and their other album, Between the Heart and the Synapse, musically, I think, influenced me. And yeah, I mean, Brendan Brown he's a solid bass player.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah, there's some sweet, sweet bass on this record.
oh, Air of Empty Breath,
Yeah.
he just goes nuts on that.
Hmm.
It's so good. And yeah, it influenced myself and at least one or two of the other guys in Atlas to want to try to, at least make an attempt at, obviously not on the same scale,
Yeah.
but having those repeating melodies and things like that that they
Yeah.
did that more so on Between the Heart and the Synapse,
Yeah.
but there is still a great level of cohesiveness on this record as well.
Yeah.
Um, that start to finish is just, yeah, it's all there and ties in really well together.
Agreed.
Um, I absolutely believe it's held up. I think in a lot of ways they were maybe a little bit ahead of their time with it.
1,000%. Yes.
Um, you know, it, especially if you think, you're thinking like maybe I would tend to classify it more as like post-hardcore,
For sure.
not maybe not quite to the extent of like a Frodis
Right.
with we washed our weapons in the sea, dude. I remember the first time I listened to that record, it was probably like 2000, sometime after
Yeah.
Alchemy Index came out because I didn't know about it before Thrice covering The Earth Isn't Humming. But when I finally went back and listened to that record, I was like, holy cow, I can hear so much. Like you could just hear like,
Yeah.
oh, this band was influenced by Frodis. This band was influenced by Frodis. This band, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
and you can just hear so much influence from so many bands when you listen to these records. It's like,
Yeah. You
dude,
can
and
you can trace that lineage
right,
pretty
and
clearly.
yeah, like it just, yeah, it wouldn't surprise me like if I go up to this band and say, hey, do you guys like the Receiving End of Sirens? They'd be like, absolutely.
Right.
So you can just, yeah, just to be able to, so even if that maybe they didn't receive the commercial success that maybe they would have hoped for, I think the influence they had in that kind of a scene is undeniable,
Yeah.
which is a really cool thing. And that's, I think of other bands, you think of the term like a band's band,
Right.
um,
Right.
where I think of like a band like Oh Brother, who was also a Triple Crown band,
Yeah.
where really good bands that are like more widely appreciated and
Yeah.
known
And if you ask
take
any of
out
them,
right.
like,
They, I mean, the only time I ever saw Oh Brother was with Thrice, and so or like the Chariot was another one of those. I mean,
right.
maybe not towards the end of their career, but like the beginning, middle, they were doing a lot of supporting tours. Not so much headlining, but they were going out with some big bands,
Yeah.
and I don't think the Receiving End of Sirens really ever got a lot of that. And
Uh-uh.
I think if they could have, I think that would have
I wonder if some of
probably.
that was like, yeah, I'm curious, like what happened. Like if it was like
Mm,
lack of label support,
mhm.
maybe them just, yeah, like feeling like they hadn't, like they paid their dues and hadn't gotten what they maybe thought they deserved or whatever. But man, I feel like if they had done even just like Acidy's Burn, like done just like one more record,
Yeah.
then like it may have hit a little differently.
hmm
But
Or like a national tour with like Coheed and Cambria.
right, yeah,
I
exactly.
think that kind of exposure. I think yeah, you just wonder what could have happened for them. You know.
Yep. Yeah, I fully agree with you that it's like I feel like they're like a band's band. Like they operate in this space where it's like it specifically within fans of like post-hardcore specifically, I think like they don't get as much recognition, but it reminds me of like certain horror movies, right? Like there's like within the horror community, there's like these certain smaller films that not as many people know, but if you know the history or if you watch like a lot of horror movies, like you watch some of these like earlier films and you can hear, like you can see the influence, like, and like the real ones know, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
how I feel, at least a little bit. Like there's
Yeah.
like if someone ever wants to talk to me about Receiving End of Sirens, I'm like, okay, you know what's up. Uh, so it's almost, John, it's almost like a litmus test for coolness for potential friends of mine. So now we're obviously best friends.
Yeah.
And we're gonna go start our own brand new podcast about post hardcore.
Oh man,
Uh, I know,
dude,
right? If
that would be
only,
so much
if
fun.
only,
That would be
if
so much
only.
fun.
Maybe there is a universe somewhere where you and I both have enough time and energy and wherewithal to start our own. What is it? What is the state of the scene? Do you see? I see
Oh
clips
yeah.
from that like on
hmm
social media and stuff all the time.
Yeah, yeah.
I've never actually listened to it,
I haven't either.
and I think those guys drive me crazy. But we would be that level of successful in
Yeah.
some other alternate universe. Okay, the last question is, why should someone check this album out?
Oh man. Um, I think you kind of just summed it up in one answer there. Someone should check this out so we can see if they're cool or not. Based on how much they enjoy it. No. Um, I mean, but it's just it's a good record if you enjoy specifically post-hardcore. But even just if you're like a general rock fan,
Yeah,
I'm not talking like radio rock
right.
necessarily, but if you enjoy distorted guitars, dynamic songwriting,
Yeah.
and
I think this is a really good intro record for people that are maybe like when you say the term post-hardcore, I feel
Mhm.
like a lot of people can get kind of scared away. They're like, "Oh, it's just screamo," and it's like, no, like someone that's maybe like not as much into like harsher vocals, but want to like sort of dip their toe into like, yeah, if you just like, I don't know, I saw there's something like when you Google this album, there's some, I did not watch it because once again, time, attention, wherewithal. There's some like YouTube video like that's like a review of this album like relatively recently that like the thumbnail or whatever described it as like prog emo, and I was like, that's so wrong. That's just so objectively wrong. Like how could you get this so wrong? It's not proggy.
Because one of the guys has a higher voice, Kylan.
Yeah, but it's like
that makes it emo.
It's emo. It's not emo. It's not prog. It's like what are we doing here, internet? And we're here to remedy that problem. It's not a prog emo album. It does not sound like Depeche Mode, despite what the one person's dad's neighbor said. We're here to remedy that. Yeah, I agree with you. I think if you like rock music, I think it's worth checking out.
Absolutely.
Sweet. Okay, do we have anything else we want to talk about, or do we want to wrap it up?
I think that's it. Another regret I have in relation to the Receiving of the Sirens. I think it was like 2006 sometime. They were doing a tour, but they had it wasn't coming anywhere near me. And then I found out that they had a one-off somewhere in Maryland. That was them, Thrice, and Norma Jean.
Oh, what?
And I didn't go, and I regret that so much.
I regret that for you too.
Especially if it was in 2006, that could have been a show that Cody was singing.
Right.
Who knows?
Oh man,
and I blew it.
You did. You blew it big time. I'm here to tell you, you blew it.
100%. But yeah, I don't know. Good record, good band. I reached out to them, or I commented on a post, I think last year, saying that they should play Furnace Fest, and they basically were like, we'd be open to it. And then they didn't, obviously, last year. But yeah, I don't know. So it sounds like they are open to playing more shows beyond the reunion show that they did earlier this year.
They would kill it Furnace Fest. I feel like,
oh my word, they would.
All right,
them in the shed, or they'd probably put them on the main stage, but
yeah,
Receiving the Sirens in the shed would be insane.
All right, so that's your new mission. Get them on, because here's the deal. I think if they played Furnace Fest and they got the reaction that I feel like a Furnace Fest crowd would give them, they'd be like, oh, okay, no, we made the right decision. We're fully back together, guys. We're doing,
oh my word.
We got all the new music coming out.
That would be crazy.
Sweet. Okay, so that's it for the world. I didn't bring it up before, but this album title trips me up every single time.
Really?
Yeah, I always want to say Ma Fi Ma. I don't know why. That's like I'm like musically trained. Like I understand.
Yeah.
I watched Sound of Music 1,000 times growing up. I always want to say Ma Fi Ma, and I always want to say the world. I want to say the world sings Ma Fi Ma, which is such like an old man. Like it's so like my dad. He's like, "What's that? Earth, the world fa mi fa album you're listening to." That is it for The Earth Sings Me Fa Me by the Receiving End of Sirens. It was released August 7th, 2007, and it's celebrating an 18-year anniversary. It can finally vote. Congratulations. Thank you so much John, for joining me on this
Hey,
show.
thank you. I've been looking forward to this, and it was a good time.
Yeah, I had a ton of fun. Where can people find you online?
At Music Fanatic on Twitter, X, Twitter.
Twitter, call it Twitter.
Again, that's Fanatic with a PH. That's about it.
All right.
All right.
I will briefly say, just huge thank you to Caleb
Yeah.
for letting us take over your show for an evening to talk about a record that we both love that I feel like doesn't get talked about enough. So yeah, if any of this is usable, I feel like we'd love to come back. Maybe John and I can be your post-hardcore correspondence or
Oh,
post-hard correspondence. That's good.
oh,
There it is. All right.
nice.
Yeah. Yeah. You can also, I guess, you can find me on Twitter at Savage Kylan. That's the only thing that I'm going to plug on this show. Thanks for listening to this episode of the Album Anniversary Podcast. Let us know what you think. What do we get right? What do we get wrong? What are your favorites from this album? Caleb is on all the social media: Twitter, Instagram, Blue Sky, YouTube, Patreon. You can also email the show at CalebTheSpypodcasts at gmail.com. And of course, from all of us here at the Album Anniversary Podcast, may all your favorite bands stay together, and peace out, mon frères. I had to put it
Oh,
in
man.
somehow. I had to get.
Oh, man. Peace out, hermanos.